Okay, who'd like to start us off? So, Jinder, what did you think about Sam's presentation?
It was a good presentation. Yeah, I don't really actually understand like your idea. Did you explain that?
Right, for my idea, I'm going to probably set it in either the hall or one of the studios over there, and it's going to be a competition, like for bands to go on and compete to try and win either a prize or a record label or something like that. I'm going to have one or two bands to come on and perform before the main band, and the main band's going to be meant to be the artists who are going to be competing as well. And then to keep it in line with some of the lyrics, I'm going to have it so that obviously, like I said, the people staring, to try and keep that in line with the lyrics, and the sabotage, as in they're going to mess with other people's equipment and try and get them to the performs not really that good. Does that help?
Okay, can someone ask or comment on Sam's actual presentation? Come to the content and the idea afterwards. What about the layout of it, use of images and things like that? Morgan?
I think overall your presentation was very simple. It wasn't nothing exciting to make us want to actually look at it, and I think it reflects on what you had to say. Because you didn't write a lot on there, you kind of was lost for words for when you were saying stuff. And yeah, maybe you should have put some like notes that hinted at for you to talk about stuff. But the stuff you knew what you wanted to talk about was your strong points, because you explained well. But then there's some stuff that you didn't really write a lot about and could show when you was explaining.
I think there was good use of images in the presentation, like that made you get a good idea of what the lighting would be like and what sort of costume and things like that, so I thought that was very clear. What about the choice of song? What do you think of that?
I like it. It was really good. I don't like rock and that cool, but I like that one. That was cool.
Yeah, it wasn't really, really heavy. It was a bit like Busted or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I chose something similar to that, mostly because I quite like that kind of sound, and I mean, if I enjoy working on it, then I'm going to work more on it. Also, because it's not that heavy, it'll apply to a wider market.
Yeah, it's a bit more mainstream.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea then is, from what Sam said, is that we're going to have this competition, battle of the bands type thing, and they're all trying to sabotage each other, and we've got these three bands against each other. Can anyone see any strengths or any weaknesses in that idea?
I think, yeah, it's a strong idea, but to make your video more engaging, you need to add like something else, because you can't really just show three bands like sabotaging each other and the competition throughout a whole 3 minutes of the song. And I don't know, I did listen to the lyrics, but does it go with what the song's saying or anything?
Yeah, I was going to try and incorporate. I've only gave a couple of examples there. But there's a few points in the lyrics where I try and copy that into the visual, so then it properly corresponds and matches with the lyrics as well.
What else could he put in, Reese? If he's got his battle of the bands, what other elements do you think that Sam could include?
Is the song just about them being that thing? What's the song about?
I'm not really sure, because some of the lyrics are quite random, and obviously they fit together quite well in the song. But I'm not really sure what the lyrics are all about, because there's some will talk about, I think there's something to do with a girlfriend and things like that, but then it goes on about something else as well.
Yeah, then you could put like the girl going to see them at the concert thingy, and like when they win, she gets proper excited, starts jumping. Yeah.
You could do a separate band performance that is in a completely white room or something like that, you know, like a bit like the Green Day American Idiot type thing. You could do something like that's going along the side, so the narrative part with the battle of the bands is a bit more comical, because if they're going to be like, I don't know, putting spaghetti on instead of strings on guitars and things like that, that's going to be more for humour, whereas if you then see the band in the real band playing as a separate entity, then that will give you more things, because I don't think you're going to have all three bands playing all the way through it, are you?
No.
So I think you do need something to break it up, because if it's just narrative driven, with some performance from the real band also at the Battle of the Bands, it's really quite intense to do that. Whereas you need something that's a bit easier to manage, that you've got stuff to cut back to. So you could just do like a white room or a black room, where it's just that if they were all going to wear black jeans, that might look quite good if they all had if they were just in a white. It's called a white box. If they're in a white box type.
Yeah, I had ideas like that. I didn't get them across that well because I wasn't sure how well it had come off. So, but yeah, I was thinking of incorporating something like that anyway.
Alyssa, what did you think to Sam's budget? Do you think that was realistic?
It was confusing because it was like still in dollars, but I got the clothing, what you're spending on, but on the side there was like magazine things. What was that?
Flyers.
Yeah, flyers. I was going to put some of my budget towards printing off some flyers, so then advertising the contest and the competition, so then it makes it seem more authentic rather than just in a school kind of thing.
You could do that on the computer, like edit it on software and fit it into the when you edit the video, and then it would have cost as much.
Were you going to say something? You were going to say something about budget?
No, I was going to say, like, what are you going to do? Like, obviously, if you're going to do, like, so many bands playing, you also got to have lighting and all that. Whereas remember, you're going to do it in the school hall, right?
Probably either in the school hall or
drama
drama studio or something like that.
Oh, right, okay. I think one thing you do need to think about is how you're going to try and make it look different, because visually it could be quite boring. You know, if it's all in the same place, you're going to have to use, like, each of the bands are going to have to look quite distinctive, I think, for us to understand they're all a different band, but they're all coming to the same venue. Like, you're going to have, like, one of the talent show Simon Cowell type people is really overboard and comical, so I think you're going to have to really think about how you're going to do it. It's a good idea, but it's going to have to be really well planned for you to be able to pull it off, I think. Any other comments for Sam? Morgan?
Have you got permission for the song?
No, sorry, I haven't got permission for the song yet.
Did they send you the lyrics though?
No, I had to listen to
You
the
sat and
song.
work them out.
I think a really good idea, like, I like the idea of like, having a competition, but you could like what Miss said, to make it look different. Because like obviously you have like the normal looking band, but then instead of having like 3 typical rock bands, have like one maybe like random, but like a cross-dressed rock band, or like you could use
almost glam
animation. Or like have one cartoon band, obviously the real one, and then one of like men dressed in women's clothing band, so like it looks a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like all in those like random hats and feather bows and stuff. So obviously it's not typical, but it
Yeah, you could have an entire band dressed as monkeys with bow ties or whatever. That'd be quite interesting to like, because then it does make it clear that they're 3 bands. I think that's otherwise, because if it's an unknown artist, we don't know these, but in all bands often look the same anyway. You don't really necessarily know who's different, so that might work quite well. I'm not sure about old Lycia's cross-dressing way of
It was
going.
just a random.
No, but I know what you mean. Something like where they're all dressed as vicars or whatever it is. Something where they've all got the same fancy dress costume.
You could use the Jews.
Yeah,
Like
because
it's different.
That Jewish rapper.
It was a Jewish reggae thing.
You could use Jews. That might maybe take away some of your target audience, Sam.
Yeah.
The other thing you could think about is you could have like, you know, like those. They're not geisha girls. You know those sort of girls who dress up as Japanese schoolgirls, but they're not Japanese. What are they called? Harurumum something. Yeah, yeah. You could have a set of girls, because they don't have to be Japanese, obviously, but you could have a set of like a girl band, like a really like teeny type. That'd be quite funny. And then your whatever mental band, and then your real one, because that could be quite good fun. That's what you want. And then you could have the end is everybody on stage together, all kind of moshing or whatever. That would look a bit mad. So something to think about. Don't forget we've got a smoke machine, we've got a bubble machine, we've got a strobe light. And the other thing you could do is, if you get some feather pillows, they're all like on sale at the minute. If you slit them, then you can have a pillow fight, and that looks amazing because there's just feathers everywhere. But then you have to clean it all up. So something to have a think about there in terms of what you're going to do.
All right.
Lovely, thanks Sam.